What's going on YouTube? My name is CymenSniped and welcome to the channel. In today's NIKKE video, I'm going to talk about a very important topic on my list that I would like to share, and today we're going to talk about leveling your team. A quick disclaimer before I begin, this is just my own interpretation and opinion. It is not the only or the best method to actually play in any way. If there's anything you find incorrect or have a better suggestion, do leave it in the comment section below so that I may also be corrected as well. Now, to actually formulate a leveling method for this particular game, let us first try and understand the basic mechanics of the game. The leveling concept of NIKKE is actually very unique due to the fact that it has a system where you may bring a completely fresh unit into the roster, matching their level progression with the lowest of the top 5 highest level units. In the game, it is called the synchro device, which is actually something that a lot of idle games have. Just a quick one to recap for you, once this feature has been unlocked in the game, it will automatically register your top 5 highest level NIKKEs by default. What you can do from here is adding any other NIKKE that is of lower level to the list, and their level will increase to match the lowest level of the top 5 units. So if you have invested very heavily into just one unit, you'll find that everyone else in the team, they contribute nothing to DPS and utility because they will just outright die. Not to mention that the CP value will stagnate and grow exponentially slower if you only focus on one unit. Now that you understand the mechanics, here is how you can optimize your leveling progression to avoid the mistakes that may really hard cap you from progressing to higher levels. Let me just very quickly tell you which unit you should focus on and what you'll want to be doing next as you progress through the game. So the leveling strategy that I wish to present to you guys is very simple. The first thing you need to do is you need to build one SSR DPS which you will limit break to 3-star as your primary focus. The second thing is you need to build 4 SR units and keep their levels in the top 5 of your entire roster. And third, once those two conditions are fulfilled, you're going to replace one of your SR units from the top 5 spots when your second SSR unit hits 3 stars as well. And finally, you repeat step 3 until all 5 units are replaced with 3-star SSR units. Before I explain further in detail about the strategy which I just mentioned, take a quick second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more future content like this, but only if you enjoy the content. Breaking down the strategy, you'll realize that the first unit that I've recommended you to build is actually a SSR unit, meaning to say there is actually a priority when it comes to the rarity of the unit you build. You should always start with one SSR DPS that would be the core of your team starting from the beginning of the game. Yes, I'm an advocate of not re-rolling too many times, but like any other game that has progression, DPS units will always be the one that will be carrying your team. So at least try to get one early on so that you may begin on the right foot. Once you got your SSR DPS, you will want to limit break this unit in order to increase its level cap to level 200 whenever you can. Prioritize your resources, but you don't really need to rush it because most of the time you're not even close to the cap just yet. For the other 4 units, use SR rarity NIKKEs that has the highest limit break stars and level them up equally. Eventually, after your first SSR DPS hits 3 stars and you're working on getting your second SSR unit to 3 stars as well, you'll be sticking to the 4 SR units until your second SSR unit actually achieves 3 stars. And once your second SSR unit reaches 3 stars, you're going to reset one of the SR units to reclaim all the resources invested into that and transfer them all to your 3-star SSR unit so that it will replace its position in the top 5 highest level units in your roster. And now that I've explained how you manage the rarity of your top 5 units, the next thing I would like to talk about is how to manage their level cap and how to increase them along the way. This is just my personal opinion, but I practice having my top DPS at least 10 to 20 levels ahead of my other 4 SR units that I am building. I also keep increasing the levels of my SR NIKKEs in intervals of 5. For example, if my SSR DPS unit is level 50, my SR units should all be around level 30 to 40. I will then increase my SR units level by 5, one at a time until they all reach a 10 level gap away from my SSR unit. Then I go back to leveling my main SSR DPS again. You can definitely go with all 5 units same level route, but I find my method a little bit more pleasing due to the fact that I experience some level spikes and the time it takes for me to actually do that isn't really that long. Now I bet some of you are wondering, but Simon, why such a troublesome method? Why not just use all the SR units as your base units to focus on leveling up and just be done with it? Why should I have one SSR unit to focus on at the very beginning? And here's why. You do not have all 5 SSR units at 3 stars, at least not at the very beginning, or anytime soon. In theory, the end goal is to have 5 SSR units at 3 stars and level 200 because that's the current ceiling that we know of. But to get there, we need to factor in just how long will it take to actually get the 5 SSR units to 3 stars. What I can say for sure is that unless you're wailing like a freaking Leviathan, it is definitely quicker to get your SR units to 160 than getting 5 SSR units to 3 stars. You're going to hit walls where you're being level gated to clear content, which in turn stops you from getting rewards to pursue your SSR dupes in the end. And the second reason is, the game doesn't force you to actually use your highest level characters in the team. Meaning to say, you should always view your synchro units and your team composition as two very different things. If you go by the method that I mentioned, your SSR units that has a lower star level may still benefit and be at a higher base level than the original limit allows. So let me give you a clear example, right? So now that I have 5 SR units in the roster that is at the highest level, level 160. If my SSR unit which I put into the synchro roster is only at base no star, alright, but because every single SR unit on the top 5 is already 160, this base unit will also be level 160. And the reason why you should slowly change all the top 5 units into SSR 3 stars is because for SSR units at 3 stars, their level cap is at level 200 and not level 160. So gradually you're going to go beyond the level 160 mark, and with all that, that's how I think you should be leveling your characters. Although I am pretty confident in my recommendation, but as always, I welcome any feedback or suggestions if it can improve and be shared for everyone's benefit. So leave them in the comment section below. I would like to see what you think. Until the next video or stream, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.